But I know I'm not the only consumer who's tired of the same topics, the same narrative within male and female music. This is just not within hip hop. This is within pop. The over-sexualization within music has been growing as time progresses. And it gets frustrating, it gets tiring. It makes us seem as if we're dumb. And this is the only thing that we'll gravitate towards. Society teaches sex sells. The expectation to be sexy. Let's get into it.
Christ's love isn't like everybody else's love. It's not like the world's love. The world's love loves you when you do things right or when you do things with them. But as soon as you make a mistake, they take that love away. But what I've experienced with the love of Christ is that it loves first. It loves through wrongdoing. It loves when you shouldn't be loved anymore. It's unconditional. And that's the love that I believe is going to change the world and has changed me.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Micaiah. I'm back and I'm black and I'm back and I'm black and I'm back and I'm black and I'm back and I'm black.
Yo, Sasha here. Excuse me? Supermodels do not fly business class. Now, I'm not gonna demand a private jet, but I think Jag could at least spring for first class.
Now, what sparked this video is the recent release of the Megan Thee Stallion song, Lover Girl. Now, I want to preface that I don't listen to any of this kind of music. I don't want to internalize that, bring it into my ear gaze. Like, I just try to separate myself. But I've seen a lot of the commentary on the TikTok space. So I was reading through the lyrics. And I think it's nice that now that she's in her Lover Girl phase, that she seems very happy. However, the song reflects still the same pattern, especially after reading the lyrics. And I just wanted to make sure I'm clear on the stance that I'm taking with this video, where as we see all throughout music, it's very sexual. And a lot of times people are not propelled unless they're being overly sexual or unless they're exuding that type of energy. And I think this applies the same way with Megan Thee Stallion's case, where if she was to take it a different direction or when she did get vulnerable, she didn't get the praise and accolades that she gets when she's being over sexual. And this goes with different women in different genres and sectors. We can go into Sabrina Carpenter. So this is just not singled out to Megan Thee Stallion. However, with this, she could have spent it in a more lover girl way, but I think it was a reason as to why that wasn't done that way. There's a reason why it is. I think with these people backing this, she has to lead with it. We've seen when she got more vulnerable, she wasn't as raunchy. For a brief couple of songs that I did see, it did not do the numbers as she does when she's overly sexual. And for me, I wanted to take a different spin on this conversation. And it seems like the labels and the big giants backing this, as we can see, are still perpetuating that over-sexualized narrative. And we can see it firsthand with Megan. I think it's easy to say that this is all she can produce and this is all that she keeps pushing and this is the only thing that she feels is going to grant her success, which couldn't be true as well. However, I believe it's a bigger force causing this narrative to push us towards an overly sexual culture and always leading with that rather than having a balance with all kinds of music. Is because people can make music about whatever they want, but when someone has the same pattern in their music and they have a song titled Lover Girl, it's kind of backwards, and it shows just the higher figures within the music industry, what they keep trying to push. And this is with males too, but specifically on this conversation with women in hip hop, we see that they all tend to have the same type of topics. They all are overly sexual, and it's a constant pattern that we see.
I do have moments where I'm like, yo, are we ever going to get bored with just like complete over the top over sexualization all the time?
They're already bored. It's already here. Even when you overdo something and over again, it doesn't cut through anymore. Like when Kim did it, it was so authentic and it was so raw and it was spaceful. It's like, whoa, got my attention. I see you. The thing that makes it bad is because it's just everybody's just a cookie cutter version of each other. And when it's that, there's no authenticity in that. And I don't know how you connect with people when it's not authentic.
Do you feel like some of the younger girls are getting caught up in like, oh, this is what the label sees them and like pushing them to go in this direction?
I mean, I think it might be part of that, and it might be part of because they already see it, so it's in their mind.
They feel like this is what they have to do.
Right.
Right.
You know, it's some man. Like I remember when I very first started to get into the thought of music business. I was looking for a manager, and the first thing he said to me was like, "Oh, put a skirt on you and heels, like it's part of the patriarchal system." All the interviews they ask me my first advice, and I tell them define the line that you are not going to cross, where you're not going to lose yourself. You have to define it. You have to know who you are and how you want to show up before you enter this business. And once you know that, you know your path, how to brand yourself, and how you want to show up. Otherwise, it's easy to get reeled into that.
Now listen, I'm not saying that people can't make music about whatever they want to. We all have free will, but I know I'm not the only consumer who's tired of the same topics, the same narrative within male and female genres of music, but I'm just focusing in on women right now. And this is just not within hip hop. This is within pop. The over-sexualization within music has been growing as time progresses, and it gets frustrating, it gets tiring, it makes us seem as if we're dumb, and this is the only thing that we'll gravitate towards. And we need to check ourselves as the audience, because clearly we're still pouring into what they keep putting out for us, and we have to reflect and also look in the mirror, because this is why this music keeps coming out till today, and the same type of topics, the same type of music still keeps being pushed in front of our face. But before we dive deeper into the video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to see more of me. And if you're new, hey, and if you're a returner, I really, truly appreciate the love. I don't take it for granted for you all clicking on this video. So I thank you all so much. And for all who are new, you should know I do an array of topics. I am extremely diverse. I do more nerdy topics, I do nostalgic topics, and I do more conscious topics, and I dibble and dabble within vlogs. So if you're interested in any of those facets, then you'll most definitely love it over here. I'm your girl. And if you get the chance, please check out my social media platforms down within the description box, where I display my passion for fashion along with other interests that I have. So let's get back into the video. So now let's focus on us as the audience, right? This kind of music has been pushed in front of our face for years now. So much for years now. And this is the music we've ingested. And at one point, this was the type of music that I ingested as well. So we have to make a change in what we're listening to and stop pouring into these kind of topics, because as you can see, this is the only thing that they feel as if that you are interested in, and or that they can just throw out any type of quality music to you. They don't have to put any effort into or anything like that. And I just want to preface, this is not just catered towards Megan Thee Stallion, because I like what she's done within the anime community and uniting that, and it seems like she's coming out with anime too, so I like that aspect. But I've never been like the biggest fan of her music because of a lot of the content, and I don't feel like it resonates with me and I connect with it personally. But I know that so many people do, and so many people connect with the Lottos, the Sexy Reds. This is the kind of music that they ingest and that they like. But I think it's important for us to refocus and go back to the drawing board, because this is all those big figures in the music industry feel like we only deserve. Like, just throw this out, they'll like it, sex sells. And even showing a flip side of it, they're pressured to be sexy. This is what us as the audience has seemed like we've wanted from them. These are the expectations we set out for them. You only care to really look at them unless they're shaking their behind. You don't want to hear anything real. And a great example of this is Lotto. I remember when she was on the Rap Game, and I really enjoyed her. I feel she deserved her win. And as we've seen before, early in her career, she wasn't as sexual. She had her clothes on. Like, it wasn't as in your face and so vulgar. But as she started growing up and as she's seen, she needed to fit into the standards to be propelled, getting a BBL so that she can be where she is now. And this is just the standard that's been put out. And this is what shows that the big figures want to push, but also us as the audience, you're only paying attention to them when they're putting this kind of stuff out. So we have to reflect and look in the mirror too. We can't blame it all on the higher figures or blame it all on the artists. This is an accountability that needs to happen all around, because if you stop pouring into it, there will be some type of switch. So we need to also change our perspectives and shift our gear in what music we're listening to, because the over-sexualization of music has been happening for a long time right now. However, I think it's heightened because of just what we've accepted as an audience and what we've decided to be like, you know what, who cares, like, I like it, music needs to be fun, but we also need to be mindful about what we're internalizing and what we're ingesting. Now, if you're one of those people that are like, people can do what they want, blase blase, you're 100% right about that. However, people are able to talk about what they want, and as an artist, you have to cater to your audience. And I know I've been hearing a lot of commentary towards her audience about the Lover Girl song, and they feel like she could have went in a different direction of it, which when I heard bits and pieces and read the lyrics, I understood what they're talking about. Because like I said, I think it's so nice that she's like in her Lover Girl phase. She's like in her soft feminine energy, which is so important for us as women. And I would have loved to see that more on a track, more than what was pushed out to us.
Everything be so overly sexualized that is almost not sexy. Like, y'all gotta admit that. I think it's time that we have a real conversation about my good sis Megan Thee Stallion. Because that new song, not even just the song, but the video that she put out, it gets to a point. Megan Thee Stallion has so much sex appeal, no doubt. But I feel like she would pop so much more if she left some things to the imagination. Like, the last thing that we need from her right now is another booty shaking, coochie popping song from her. I want more from her so bad, but at the same time, it's like, I understand Hollywood and the agendas that they have to push. When I first heard the snippet of the song, I thought it was gonna be like hella romantic. Being that she's so seductive, and really it's just a super intense Jezebel spirit, but we ain't gonna talk about that because I know y'all like to talk about that. But she would be great doing like slow, sexy R&B type songs. I don't know why she won't tap into that.
I know who Megan is, but seeing her in this new relationship and this whole, she just looks different. It feels different, and this is a whole new man. Like, it's not the type of man she used to be messing with, but it's different. Like, Clay's like, he reminds me of that nerdy dude that watches anime and falls for the popular girl and that beautiful love story. So, you know, and that's Klay Thompson, Golden State Warriors. Like, it's a different tax bracket, if you get what I mean. So when I heard the snippet and like the title is the Lover Girl, I'm like thinking she's really going to be in her love bag. Like, you know when Nicki did Your Love, that type. Your, like, you know, it's different, but it just shows like her in more in a feminine energy, and I guess that's what I expected. So even when I watched the music video, don't get me wrong, body banging, body tea, but it's like, this is so expected from you, Megan, and it's just, I don't know, like, I want to see a black woman in love. I want to see her, I wanted that to be portrayed. I think that's what I was looking for, because love is so beautiful. And when you're treated right and when you are respected by, like, it is such a beautiful feeling. And I wanted to move away from like the raunchiness and the, you know, too much sexual conversation on bars or whatever, and more about like, you know, how she started off. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like how she started off, but I like the lyrics. I'm not gonna lie, they were like some parts I'm like, ooh, tea, but it could have probably been more upbeat. I don't know, but it was not what I was expecting. I just, you know, and some people saying you expected too much. Maybe. I don't know. Like, I hope you get what I'm saying.
And the same people like Lotto. Lotto seems to be in a happy relationship as well, but the stuff we get is opposite to her being in a happy relationship. So also be mindful about who you're looking up to, is because a lot of times people are rapping about or singing about the total opposite of what they're actually feeling or going through. So really think about that. They could be pushing you to be like, forget that man, but they're the same ones at night laid up with a man, okay? And catering to that man, okay? So just be mindful about what you're ingesting, because a lot of times people aren't living what they rapping, and that goes for men as well. Editor Micaiah here. And yeah, I just want to circle back on what I stated, because I think this is so true. Is because you see all these people are saying, forget this person, act like this, live your life, but they're the same ones booed up. This is what a bunch of the female rappers, majority of them. So I just want you all to be mindful about who you're looking up to and what you're internalizing, because even people were saying with Beyonce when she did all the single ladies, she was far from single, right? She was a married woman. So just being mindful about what you're embracing. You can listen to what you want because we have free will. However, just be mindful about what you're looking up to and who you're looking up to, because they could be living the total opposite of what they're putting out. What I would like to see more within music is more diversity within the content and the topics for male and females, because I think a lot of times when we look down the different artists, it's always either something sexual, some sort of heartbreak. It's nothing else contrary to that. It's either sexual, some sort of heartbreak, forget that man, forget that girl. It's like the same topics. And I think what the industry is yearning for is something real, something authentic, something creative. Create storytelling, be more discreet with your words, because back then, not to say they didn't have raunchy music, because we know they did, but it was a lot of more subliminals with it. We didn't know what they were talking about. We can even go with Lil Wayne Lollipop, right? We know that song is very inappropriate now, but when I was younger, I didn't think nothing of it. So that's what I'm saying, being more discreet with music, because now they're all up in your face with it, and this is what they feel like, I don't have to be creative, I don't have to do anything different.
I love my baddie music, but I genuinely feel like there are more things to like rap and sing about other than just like sexual like content. I like the 2000 pop music era, 2010s, because I feel like you can make songs that are like slightly suggestive without like actually like being suggestive, like in a way that these people sang and the words that they use. I feel like younger people could listen to it and not catch on, that's the thing. But now like it's just straight up very explicit music. Some of the songs that you probably listened to as a kid, you thought like was a vibe, was a beat, right? Never really understood the lyrics, but you still sang along because it was catchy. But like now as you're older, you're like, oh yeah, like it was actually like kind of explicit, you know what I mean? But now like these days, like kids are literally just like saying like straight up going at it, saying these explicit things, you know? I think it's important to realize the media that is being put out on the internet, and it's important to know that in our generation, things are really heavily sexualized, and we should be careful about what we're listening to or watching.
And to kind of close this out, I just want people to be mindful about what you're ingesting. This is what television, this is what music. I have realized more and more, especially due to my transformation with Christ, that we have to be so mindful about what we're ingesting and what we're listening to, because it can be more damaging than we realize. And you listening to that heartbreak music could actually make you very cold and can make you have feelings that you maybe never harbored, and you're taking on other people's feelings rather than your own. And certain things you watch, you may get riled up and angry for no reason, but it's because of what you're watching and what you're listening to. Just be mindful of that. I'm one that checks out of a lot of this music. I can't listen to it. It's just something that is not uplifting, and it's not something that works for me. But I'll just leave that with a food for thought. Be mindful about what you're ingesting. So I thank you all for watching. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. Please leave your thoughts and perspectives on the matter. But as I always say in every video, let's be respectful. You don't have to agree, but we must respect one another. And I want you all to remember that you are loved by the God who created the universe. He made you for such a special purpose. There's no mistake about you. So I thank you all so much for sharing this special moment with me. And I'll check you all out in the next video. Stay blessed, everyone.